There is really something about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that the powers that be knows that scares the living daylight out of them, which is why they want to silence him, but can't. Do you know that the recent revelation of Trump's administration on the sponsors of Boko Haram, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, said so as far back as 2020, but they never listened to him? But we shall get into that shortly. From the viral news making the rounds, US probes donations to Nigeria amid claim of Boko Haram sponsorship. The US government is set to investigate how past aid allocated to Nigeria and other countries has been utilized. This follows US President Donald Trump's January 20th, 2025, decision to suspend all foreign aid for 90 days, citing concerns about global destabilization and misalignment with American interests. The move responds to growing calls for a comprehensive review of US Agency for International Development, USAID, health funds. US Congressman Scott Perry had claimed that USAID funded terrorist organizations, including Boko Haram. Perry, a Republican representing Pennsylvania, made the claim during the inaugural hearing of the Subcommittee on Delivering on Government Efficiency last Thursday. Boko Haram, officially known as Jama'at al-Sunnah lid-Dawah wal Jihad, is a self-proclaimed jihadist terrorist organization based in northeastern Nigeria and also active in Chad, Niger, northern Cameroon, and Mali. The group has been causing havoc in northeast Nigeria for over 15 years, killing tens of thousands of people in frequent attacks against the police, armed forces, and civilians. Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds in madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps, that's what it's funding, Perry said. In a post via X on Tuesday, the US mission to Nigeria confirmed that monitoring systems are in place to track past assistance provided by the US government. The US mission also strongly condemned the ongoing violence and loss of life caused by Boko Haram in Nigeria. Comprehensive monitoring and evaluation systems are in place to help verify that US assistance reaches intended recipients. The United States condemns the violence and blatant disregard for human life perpetrated by Boko Haram and other terrorist groups in Nigeria and the region. The Secretary of State designated Boko Haram a foreign terrorist organization on November 14, 2013, to block the organization's assets and fundraising efforts, prosecute individual members, and restrict their travel to the United States. The United States continues to work with Nigeria and regional partners to counter terrorism, the Post read. In response to the alleged funding of Boko Haram by USAID, the Borno state government said it was awaiting the decision of the federal government on the next line of action. Speaking with one of our correspondents, the special advisor to Governor Babagana Zulum, Brig General Abdullahi Ishaq Ret-D, said the state government was not surprised by the allegation as the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, had mentioned some non-governmental organizations were financing the insurgency in the state. Have you listened to the interview of the Chief of Defense Staff on the attitudes of these NGOs? He was once here as a theater commander, and he has given a clue as to his experience when he was here. He said that they will say they are taking food somewhere, and before you know it, they will say the vehicle broke down. All of a sudden, the trailer load becomes empty. The signs have always been there. Concerning the probe of the NGOs working with USAID, he said, "It is not a state government thing. They got permission from the federal government to operate here, which is why they operate in so many places in Nigeria, and not Maiduguri alone. It is left for the federal government to decide. The decision will determine our stand. I just returned from a trip, so there is still some information I cannot authoritatively speak on currently," he said. In a recent interview on Al Jazeera, General Musa questioned how terrorist groups in Nigeria managed to sustain their operations despite sustained military offensives. He pointed to foreign financial and logistical support as a critical factor, enabling the persistence of these groups. The CDEs revealed that many surrendered or captured Boko Haram fighters had been found in possession of foreign currency, raising serious questions about their funding sources. As we speak, over 120,000 Boko Haram members have surrendered, and most of them came with hard currency. How did they get it? How are they funded? How did they get the training? How did they get the equipment? He asked. The CDs has also raised alarms over the suspicious activities of certain NGOs, citing instances where some of them, ostensibly providing humanitarian aid, paid up to 10 years' rent in advance for properties in insurgency-prone areas. He questioned the rationale behind such long-term commitments, asking whether these NGOs had foreknowledge that terrorism would persist for another decade. He then called on the United Nations to investigate the funding and training of Boko Haram terrorists. Now let's compare this news with the extract of our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast on the 10th of June 2020. Then you will begin to understand that there's something about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that is known by the powers that be, and that is why they had to go as far as Kenya to kidnap him and keep him in detention. Now let's dive right into it. An extract from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast on June 10th, 2020, 61. Jonathan was toppled by a black man, Barack Obama, and he did so to protect the white supremacy. Gowan was in it too by killing Murtala Muhammad. Today, he is a prayer warrior. 62. I want blacks to understand this all over the world. A white man is not your problem is your stupidity and your treachery. 63. 16 days after Jonathan was sworn into office, the plan to remove him began with the help of Obama, the jihadist. Boko Haram was unleashed. 64. I am making this known so that when I go to US, Obama can sue me. Obama is a murderer and a jihadist, and I'm going to prove it to you. 65. Boko Haram was killing, and who was helping them? Obama, and who reported it? VOA. 66. Knowing all these things and knowing that Buhari was in bed with Boko Haram, Yoruba voted for him. Yoruba. Why? Because you are an enemy of fairness. 67. That's why they are for Tinubu. Instead of the president to go for the Igbos, Tinubu Yoruba will take it. He is a Muslim Yoruba. 68. Jonathan called Obama on phone without answer. Jonathan met Obama in Washington for help. Obama declined and told him point blank no. Obama refused because he was in support of Boko Haram in a bid to remove Jonathan and have a Muslim in power in Nigeria. 69. I know that Jonathan is listening, and his lovely wife too. That's why anyone going after her, Patience Jonathan, will be shredded. Look at what is going on now. 70. Obama wanted Jonathan out so that the jihadists will take over. All the killings that are going on today in Nigeria is from Obama the jihadist. 71. When Jonathan went to Israel, he was told by Mossad to go and speak to Ibrahim Babangida Ib and asked for permission. That's how Ibrahim Babangida Ib told Jonathan to appoint Dasuki as his security advisor. 72. That is why I am warning Aisha that I will deal with her if they don't release Olisa Metu.
Very link to my page to be shared everywhere so the world can listen and mankind bear us witness. Janjaweed is in Sudan. That is for them. Going to Sudan is the height of the achievement. If you're in doubt, go and ask Sanusi. Lamido Sanusi. Going to Sudan is the highest because that is the headquarters of Janjaweed. And the next headquarters they want to build is in Biafra land. These are the things you must understand. You must also begin to appreciate that is why we do what we do. Now I have come to the main. It's unbelievable. I have taken nearly 2 hours laying out the preamble. Now I want Aisha to listen very carefully. And all those of you, those that coronavirus have not killed yet in Asorok, I need you to listen and listen very, very carefully. I want you to know what I will do to you. After this broadcast, you will know. If you don't release Olisametu, I want you to know what I will do to you. Because tonight, for delaying in the release of Olisametu, I gave you 14 days, but I thought about it and I said, no, it's too long. It's too far. For delaying the release of Olisametu, I am going to give the whole world, I'm going to expose to the world a history you have been hiding for long. And I'm giving you 12 more days. If nothing is happening, then I'll release it. I don't want Nigeria to break down or to break into violence or breakdown of law and order. No. I want Biafra to be extricated peacefully. That's what I want. I want Biafra to go peacefully. If you insist in dragging your feet to do what is necessary, to do what is right, I've told you what to do many times, or in the release of Olisametu, what I'm about to do now is a child's play compared to what I will do to you then. Now, let me start this evening. I want to now begin to name who the agents of racism are, or the agents of racists. The must be grammatically exact. I want to show you, I want to make you understand who the agents of the racists are. And they are the people you call your leaders inside Nigeria. Listen carefully. We need not look any further. The fall of President Jonathan was what gave me the clue as to who the real enemies are within. And you must know that Jonathan was toppled by a black man, Barack Obama. You must also know that it was in a bid that what Barack Obama was doing was to maintain white supremacy over blacks. Forget how that's nonsense working for George Floyd. When he was there, more people died at the hands of the police, white policemen, than under Trump. That is a fact of life. Go and check it. All this sentimental rubbish, I'm not a part of it. You know, we blacks, we love, feeling sorry for ourselves, all that nonsense. It's not for me. Listen. In a bid to sustain white racism, Barack Obama, being an agent of racists, overthrew Jonathan. He did something in Libya and killed Muammar Gaddafi. We'll get to that later. Gowon was the agent too. As I told you, he had a hand in the killing of Murtala Mohammed. Now I am letting them know. Now, today he's a prayer warrior. Now, the Northern Cabal conspiracy against Jonathan, the Fulani elite, they are agents of racists. Fulani, those you call the cabal. Fulani, they used to call them the Kaduna Mafia before. All those people that you see being controlled by Abba Kyari before he died, they are agents of racists abroad. They are your problem. A white man is not your problem. I want blacks to understand this all over the world. A white man is the least of your problems. Your problem is your stupidity, number one, and secondly, the treachery of most black people. How? You ask me. Now follow this sequentially, please. Get your pen and paper ready. Get your pen and paper ready, please. And note this history. I'm telling you something that newspapers cannot publish. They cannot publish it. That is why everywhere they are listening to Radio Biafra right now, this minute, this second. Listen to this. Goodluck Jonathan was inaugurated in his own right after the death of Yar'Adua. He contested and won in 2011. He was sworn in on the 29th of May 2011. Write that date down. May and June. The same year, after barely less than a month in office, Boko Haram struck. Only 16 days in office. Boko Haram was unleashed. They struck. And I want to give you the reference. Amaka, please spare. Amaka, I know you are very busy. It's a bit late. Kids are going to school tomorrow, but I will ask you to stay with me. It's very important tonight. This program tonight is the program that will cleanse every black person who listens to it. You can no longer be the same. there was a news carried by VOA. I will give you the title of that publication. It's called Islamist Group Claims Responsibility for Nigeria Bombing. 16 days after Jonathan was sworn in 2011, the plan to remove him started. And I am making this assertion so when I go to the US, Obama can sue me. I am making it very clear right now here that President Barack Obama is a jihadist. He's a murderer and he's a killer. Listen carefully. Obama is a murderer and a killer. Obama never loved black people or loved Africa. No. And I'm proving it to you now. With facts and with figures. Somebody saying they were listening to me, but it's cut off. I hope and pray that people are back. They are back. We are nearly at 6,000. Doesn't matter. We'll continue. Keep sharing it. So that Facebook will be... Mad people everywhere. Jonathan was sworn in May, and in June, the Fulani Janjaweed started to kill people. They did not agitate like IPOB. They were not peaceful. They wanted power by all means, and they started to kill their so-called fellow Nigerians to achieve it. And who was helping them? Obama. This news was reported by VOA on June 15, 2011. Militant Islamic group Boko Haram is claiming responsibility for a suicide bombing outside the police headquarters in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, on Thursday. Who are the sponsors? Sali Ndume, who is the chief negotiator, Muhammadu Buhari, who said an attack against Boko Haram is an attack against the North, Buhari. Knowing all these things, knowing that Buhari was in bed with Boko Haram terrorist group, why did the Yorubas vote for him? Yoruba, why did you vote for him? Why? I'm asking a simple question. Because you are all agents of racists all over the world. You want to hold people down. You don't like fairness. You don't like justice. Jonathan must be removed because Nigeria is an Islamic country. Some of you don't know this. I was told when I was in detention in DSS dungeon that Nigeria is an Islamic nation. They don't want any Christian in Asrock. So you don't know that? You don't know that Jonathan was an aberration? They used Obasanjo to compensate the Yorubas for the laws for the killing of Abiola. He's their lackey anyway, he's their lapdog. That's why he cannot speak. Jonathan was a mistake. And after that, they sealed it. That's why they were touting Tinubu. Rather than presidency go to an Igbo man, rather Tinubu, who is a Muslim, will take it. Don't you understand that? They came 16 days after Jonathan was in power. So when I'm asked, when anybody now claiming they are from anybody ignorantly and stupidly calling him or herself a Nigerian town, those you're doing one Nigeria with, as your brother was there 16 days after being sworn in his own right as a president, the bombs went off. These are the people you're in one Nigeria with. All of you are hypocrites. According to VOA is here. The attack came. Now, from then onwards in 2011, Boko Haram intensified the attacks throughout the northeast. And Jonathan kept paying them money. They kept extorting money from Jonathan. Even Ali Ndume said it a few days ago that he didn't know who those that Jonathan met. Jonathan gave them billions of dollars. They kill you and you pay them. They abduct your daughters and you pay them. IPOB only came out with a flag and songs and you kill us. Hypocrisy. And you want me to be part of that country? Are you not insane? We continue. They started killing. Jonathan made every effort. As I'm speaking to you, you can, if you have diplomats who are your friends, ask them. Jonathan tried frantically, called Obama severally, begged Obama for help. Obama declined. And then Jonathan succeeded in getting a visit to go and see Obama. President Obama will welcome President Goodluck Jonathan of Nigeria to the White House. The president looks forward to consulting with President Jonathan on the latest regional and global developments and deepening our bilateral relationship. You know the usual crap they say. Jonathan, I know that President Jonathan is listening. And a very lovely wife, who is my aunt, of course, Patience Jonathan. That is why anybody going towards her, look at what's happening tonight. I'm going to destroy the Fulani cabal. Now, do you know what happened? Jonathan met with, I'm just reading out the press statement from White House to tell you that Jonathan went. After calling Obama on the phone and begging, Jonathan traveled to Washington to go and meet Obama. Hey. It was then, after the fruitless effort, Obama said, no, I will not help you. Point blank, Obama said no to Jonathan. I won't help you. Obama wanted Jonathan out and for a jihadist to come in so that they can continue this march. What is happening today in Nigeria, the killings, the massacre, the mayhem, Obama is aware of it. He planned it. Barack Obama. I'm traveling to the US after the whole coronavirus nonsense. I want him to sue me. I'll be in America and I will say it in the US. I want him to sue me in America. Good luck, Jonathan. After enduring all of this nonsense, remember the Christmas Day bombing, 25th of December of 2011. Have you forgotten? In Madala, if I'm not mistaken. After that, the next year, being 2012, according to BBC, Goodluck Jonathan said that officials in his government, the Fulani people in his government, were sponsors of Boko Haram. He said it. BBC, 8th of January 2012. Nigeria's Goodluck Jonathan. Officials back Boko Haram. Hey, astonishing. Nigeria's president, Nigeria's president has said for the first time he thinks sympathizers of Islamist Boko Haram group are in his government security agencies. This is a warning for those of you doing IRAT's job, for those of you working for Alamajiri, for those of you who are DSS agents everywhere, for those of you carrying file, working for Janjaweed, thinking we will not know. Do you know that Boko Haram came out? People inside the presidency of Jonathan were working for Boko Haram. Do you know why they were working for them? They wanted one outcome. They want Fulani domination. They wanted a Fulani man to take over power. They had to undermine a sitting president who is a Christian, that a Muslim may come in. All of them. Jordan confessed. And he confessed because in 2012, Boko Haram was everywhere. Wave after wave of attack. Who were those behind it? Barack Obama, Muhammadu Buhari, and the Islamic Janjaweed movement. That was when what you're seeing happening today, the killings in the north, did not start now. It was conceived by Obama, President Barack Obama of America. That is to tell you that blacks are serving whites, even if they are president or ex-president. Jonathan was pleading. Barack Obama said no. And the Boko Haram went into overdrive. Every Fulani billionaire, all the money they have made, they were giving it to Boko Haram. compared to IPOB. Nobody has come out from the presidency of the zoo in Aisha's administration to say we gave Boko Haram XYZ. But they can publish what they claim. I am paying our lobbyists in America. Jonathan was complaining the Fulani people in his administration were actually Boko Haram sympathizers. Do you see how people work with one mind? Boko Haram are doing the killings for them. They're in the presidency, strangling Jonathan, quite literally. As if you don't know. See if you don't know. Jonathan was asked to seek help from Israel. Now he's going to be shocked. Remember when Jonathan went to Israel? And he was praying at the wall. Even before then, Jonathan went to Israel. Now let me shock you. Jonathan traveled to Israel because people advised him that since Obama will not help you, you're a Christian, you're a Biafran, you are Igbo, you might as well go to Israel. Israel may help you. Hey, and Jonathan encountered what I also encountered in Israel. And I will say it tonight. Jonathan traveled to Israel. They asked him, do you know who advised him to go to Israel? You know, he's like his namesake, Zeke. They love to surround themselves with Fulani. I don't know why. What is wrong with our people? His security advisor was a Fulani. Everybody was Fulani. They asked him, since Obama have said no, why don't you go to Israel? He didn't know it was a trap. Jordan traveled to Israel as a Christian. He believed that he was that the move will make him feel better. Israel will give him good advice and support. But he didn't know that in world politics that economic interest is more important than anything. Do you know that? Do you remember when we were growing up? They said it was Mossad that was guarding Babangida. It was Mossad that designed Asarok. It was Mossad that put in place all the security you see in Asarok today. That is why it cannot be taken by a light infantry brigade. They cannot take Asarok. Nobody can storm Asarok and take it easily. Only if there is heavy machinery or if they are prepared to lay siege to it for months on end. It was designed by Mossad of Israel. Now, when Jonathan got to Israel, not knowing in Israel, they now told Mossad now told Jonathan to go back and consult IBB about what needs to happen. That IBB is the agent. Ibrahim Babangida is an Israeli Secret Service agent. He'll be shocked. He must have fallen off his chair by now. He'll be wondering, how did this madman know this? Now, they now said to Jonathan, if you want Mossad to help you fight Boko Haram, that he now needs to go back to IBB and get permission. And the IBB will tell him what to do as their agent. It was at that meeting that IBB recommended that his former aide-de-camp, Dasuki, be made the National Security Advisor. Follow this very carefully. I'm saying this tonight to warn Aisha what I will do to you. If you don't listen to this, I will do what I will do to you. Young girl, what I will do to you. Any ear that hears it will start bleeding. I want to use Ibrahim Babangida and Dasuki and all transfer with Jonathan to give you a taste of what is to come. They asked Jonathan to meet Babangida. Jonathan went and met Babangida. And Babangida said, you will make Dasuki your aide-de-camp, your ADC. And after the agreement was reached, Jonathan was now arranged to travel back to Israel to meet Prime Minister Netanyahu on the 28th of October in 2013. Are you following? Mossad now said, our own brothers in Israel now said to Jonathan, you must work with Dasuki. before coming to Israel. Mossad told Jonathan that Dasuki is the only man we trust. You must work with Dasuki. And who recommended Dasuki was IBB, who is their main man. Jonathan had no previous connection with Dasuki. So they now asked for Dasuki to come. Dasuki came. Jonathan knelt down in front of Ibrahim Dasuki to beg him. And Dasuki said to Jonathan, I will work with you only on two conditions. One, there will be no protocol with me. I will run the office of the National Security Advisor as I see fit. And another thing, you must appoint Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, as the CBN governor. That was how Sanusi became the governor of CBN. Are you listening to me? I'm giving you facts and figures. That journalists in the zoo right now, they're going crazy. That was how. Now you can see the chain. They are now circling. The Janjaweed are now moving into position to circle Jonathan completely and destroy him in 2015. They said to Jonathan, Dasuki said to Jonathan, appoint my fellow Janjaweed, appoint Sanusi as the central bank governor, and you must give me access to central bank to take however much money I want without protocol. And to facilitate that, I need my own fellow Janjaweed, my own brother, my own fellow Islamist in Sanusi there. So when I go to take the money, nobody will talk. Jonathan agreed and gave his approval. As soon as Jonathan accepted the demands, the northern cabal now mounted the pressure. Go and check the media. They now mounted the pressure for Lieutenant General Andrew Aziza to be replaced. I have the secret. The only reason why I don't want to release it, I don't want Nigeria to, people have died too much. I don't want people to die. I don't want people to die in Nigeria. If I want people to die, if I release what people will perish. There will be immediate combustion and people will die. I'm feeling Aisha needs to reason and do what I've asked her to do. Not just she knows the number to call to reach us, so we can tell her the modalities, how the referendum is going to go. Or else, I'm finishing Nigeria. Nigeria is gone after tonight. They're finished. That's what I must preach. Jonathan made Sanusi Lamido Sanusi CBN governor so that Dasuki can have easy access to foreign currency without question. He can take any amount he likes. Nobody can question him. That was the deal. Babangida was seen on it. Mossad, that was the condition to Jonathan. He wanted access to central bank money. They now replaced Aziza. I want you to know that Aziza was replaced in June of 2012. June 20 was removed. At the height of Boko Haram insurgency. At the height. There was a publication. And Amaka, don't sleep, oh. Amaka, don't attempt to sleep. Biko, I'm begging you. Uzuaka, tell Amaka not to sleep, please. I don't need them sleeping tonight. I'm going to read out the headline. And I want to, every headline, every publication that I spell out, I want you to copy it. Copy it. Google it. If you're on my page, you should be able to find it. Search for Nigeria, Northern governors hail removal of National Security Advisor and the Defense Minister. These were the grand plan of Babangida with Mossad. Mossad was doing it because they wanted to keep their agent on the ground, who is IBB. But IBB and Dasuki with Sanusi, they now used it to build the base of Boko Haram and the Fulani hegemony. They now had access to uncontrollable amounts of money and in foreign currency. Ibrahim Dasuki. I campaigned for him to come out of detention. No doubt about that, because he was detained illegally. I'm not giving you facts and figures. Northern governors hail removal of NSA and Defense Minister. It was published by the Janjaweed newspaper, Daily Trust. Now, at this time, this was when Jonathan realized now that the entire northern governors, all of them, were all sponsors of Boko Haram. The entire north, everybody wanted Jonathan to leave office before 2016, before the next round of negotiations of oil well contracts. Jonathan had to go. Listen, the Northern States Governors Forum has described the decision of President Goodluck Jonathan to remove Minister of Defense Dr. Bello Haliru and National Security Advisor Lieutenant General Andrew Aziza as a good step in the right direction. These were the people fighting Boko Haram. They now removed them and installed the one person that Babangida advised Mossad is who he wants, Ibrahim Dasuki. And Dasuki now said, I want a central bank governor that I can take money from without any question. They now recommended Sanusi Lamido. I think that's it. Sanusi Lamido. I don't know how it's pronounced. The cabal now used Dasuki to create a very strong impression before Jonathan that they are the ones that overthrew Buhari, that nothing will happen. Because it was Dasuki that arrested Buhari when he was overthrown and took him to prison in Benin City, where he spent about 3 years or thereabout. Besides, Dasuki is a former colonel in the army and from a royal family and the 18th son of the Sultan of Sokoto. He is grounded in all the plans and all the plans to sabotage Jonathan's government. He knows everything. So the keeping of Dasuki in detention was a game plan. They know they all stole the money. And what I'm saying tonight is that Dasuki that gave money to Olisametu is not in prison, but Olisametu is in prison. This is how Nigeria works. And you want me to be a part of Nigeria? You accuse me of stealing, you jail me. But the person that gave me the money that you claim you caught me with is working about freely. Is that justice? Is that fairness? Who would want to be in such a country, I'm asking you? Who in their right mind? We'll continue this evening. I said this is lecture that I'm giving. We are giving a lecture. Lecture. Nkuzi. I want to let Aisha Buhari know that the secrets I have about Nigeria is just an appetizer. Don't release Olisametu, then you see. This was a simple appetizer. They used Dasuki. The appointment of Dasuki gave Ibrahim Babangida and his men unlimited access to CBN. They stole CBN dry. That man on a wheelchair. Even in a wheelchair, Babangida is still stealing and thieving. He thinks Mossad will defend me. Oh dear me. You know what they did? They started looting billions of dollars, unaccounted for. They said it was for arms procurement. but they only went to buy refurbished tanks. And in the process, billions were stolen. And you know me, I have facts and figures. BBC carried it all. 12th of February 2016, Nigeria to probe generals over arms fraud. Arms fraud facilitated by Ibrahim Babangida, executed by Dasuki through a kleptomaniac in Sanusi. Oh, Fulani, because of Jonathan's cowardice, Fulani Caliphate, the Janjaweed, the feudal lords, they made nothing less than 11 billion US dollars. 11 billion. That was not borrowing money all over the place. Even on a wheelchair, Babangida made money. That is why they can import the grass. You know, the son plays polo with a horse. The grass the horse eats, they import from the pampas of Argentina. The horse that Babangida's son Mohammed uses to play polo, they import it from Argentina. The zoo is there. 12 senior Nigerian army officers have been handed over to the anti-corruption agency for their alleged involvement in arms scandal. That was the 2 billion they can find. That's why they're holding Odisametu. Odisametu never took any money from anybody, not from Central Bank, but they're holding him because he is an Igbo man. He is a Biafran. They know nobody will stand up for him. They know the politicians cannot circle their wagon and say enough is enough. They have been backbiting and stabbing each other at the back, that they are useless. They can't come together to fight for anyone. It is there for us to fight for them, and we shall continue to do so because it's the right thing to do. Generals indicted, or should I say, of course, indicted. That's Nigeria for you. We'll continue. I'm giving you facts, I'm giving you figures. Furthermore, Transparency International Defense and Security made a report on how all the funds made available to Jonathan's government were looted. So, as the Fulanis were stealing the money, the Fulanis were giving part of it to Yoruba media to say that Jonathan is corrupt. And Jonathan, being a gentleman who cannot speak for himself, was helpless. Obama wanted him out. Israel that he went to, as he ran to them as a brother, they referred him again to Muslims. Mossad of Israel, which is a disgrace, referred Jonathan back to Muslims because they are their agents. Agents against your own people. Agents against your own people. Terrible. We continue. After Jonathan, the report, let me give it to you, please, so you know what I'm talking about. It was a publication by Transparency International. Transparency, it is called Weaponizing the title is Weaponizing Transparency. Defense Procurement Reform as a counter-terrorism strategy in Nigeria. They are the ones that refuse to help Jonathan Obama's administration. But now that Jonathan had gone to Israel and Israel said, do what Babangida asked you to do, which is to appoint Dasuki. And Dasuki said, before I can take it on, you must appoint Sanusi to give me access to money. They are now blaming Jonathan again for corruption in PDP. Corruption everywhere. Whereas, it is Fulani that we are taking all the money. The same thing they're doing today. That's the way they are. To loot, as Lugard said. Transparency International. No weapon came. Instead of Obama to give weapons directly to Jonathan to go and fight Boko Haram, they asked them to go and bring the money and buy. Jonathan before Jonathan could get at the money, they said, you must put Dasuki and Sanusi Lamido. And that was the end of it. And instead of fighting Boko Haram, they were busy looting all the money and people were dying. Unbelievable. There are plenty. Very many of them. That was how. This is just a snippet. That was how Jonathan's administration crumbled. That was how it crumbled. Had Israel given him support direct, as Israel gave to Babangida after the coup attempt by Maman Vatsa. Was it Vatsa's one or of that failure of Obama? That is why Christians are being killed today. And to an extent also Muslims. There are reports everywhere. They are claiming that I'm talking to America. I am lobbying America. I am paying so much money to lobby America for the killing of Christians. But this is a fact. And it is here. The full list is here. And Miyet Yala is a terrorist organization. No one has prescribed them. They are still there. The killings are just too many. Which one will I read out and which one will I abandon? Who the man responsible anytime there is killing in the northern part of the zoo called Nigeria? The person that should come to your mind first is Obama. Second is Buhari. Third is Ibrahim Babangida. Fourth is Ibrahim Dasuki. Fifth, you have Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi. Sixth, you have the northern governors, the Sharia North. That are the reason why people are dying today. And they have the temerity to blame Jonathan. They have the temerity to blame the terrorists when they themselves are the ones that used it to leverage it, to siphon and to loot as much as possible. There are headlines all over the world attesting to the fact that Christians in Nigeria, Christians, they are culminating in the one that you had earlier today. 69 people killed in Borno. That is the gift of Fulani to you. And after all these shenanigans, after all this looting, killing, subterfuge, deception, and lies, somebody will come out and say, I am from the north. I want to contest in 2023. And some of you fools will say, that is what I said. A black man, your problem is in your brain. Nowhere else. Any day you learn to reason properly, all your problems are solved. You have running water, you will have electricity, and even Elohim might bless you. We are live and we are direct. The world is listening. The time now is approximately 20 minutes to 10 p.m. in the land of Biafra. What I preach is gospel. Let them, don't release all this on now. You will see what will happen. Then you get the proper analysis. What I find shocking is this. Of all the different ethnic nationalities you have in the north, of which all of them, I am sure, outnumber, at least the major ones outnumber the Fulanis, how is it possible that only 7% of the population is able to control all of you? It's not that the Fulanis are educated. That is what I find astonishing. It's not that they are smart, they're not educated, they move their useless cattle from place to place. They research on how to make suya better. They invented cliche, which is the art of slicing wafer slice of a meat and you sun dry it. That's the achievement. In 33 years. You have all these tribes in the north. They are Fades, they are Chipas, they are Fizeres, they are Fours, they are Lagos, they are Mons, they are Nogutas, the Angas, the Ankwe, the Attackers. All of you are there. You cannot group together and say enough is enough. Look at what they did to Hausa people. The same thing that they're using the likes of Ngige to do today. They will always send a traitor amongst you. That's where they operate. Send a traitor amongst you. So that traitor will be singing. And then they will come. All of you are there. You have not managed to get yourselves together. The Beles, the Bayos, the Bashiris of Plateau State, the Bakers of Bauchi, the Baras of Bauchi, the Banso of Adamawa. All ethnic nationalities subsumed and swallowed by the Fulani, using terrorism and advanced Janjaweedism. You people, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for all of you in the zoo called Nigeria. There are the Goas in Adamawa, the Gures are in Kanu. None of them is from Hausa. These are, how come they are not minorities? Do you want me to tell you how many minorities you have, or should I say, let me call them minorities for now. You have in the north. How many minorities you have in the north? It is over 160. In fact, Chinas, I gave you the list to Amaka to publish. There is no minority commission in the north. Nobody's complaining in the north because they were conquered and subdued. But in our land, in Biafra land, where the Igbos, the majority ethnicity, did not conquer anybody, people are just running their mouth like a broken down machine, just making noise and talking rubbish. Pure nonsense. But look at the north, where there was conquest. The Fulani come subdued. This is Allah subdued them. Have you heard anybody? Have you heard anybody from before say I am a Kurama? Have you heard of that name before, Kurama? They are found in Jigawa, in Kaduna, in Niger, in Plateau. Very big. The Fulani have so much dealt with them. Nobody can speak. But today I am telling them that I will be speaking for them. We want freedom for everybody. I said freedom for everybody. We want freedom for the Kuti people, for the Kutem, for the Kushi. We want freedom for the Kwaro people. We want freedom for the Laru people of Niger. We want freedom for the Longuda people of Adamawa. We want freedom for the Limono ethnicity. Have you heard of them before? They're all in the north. But Fulani have subdued them. Instead of them to say, who am I? How do I reclaim or rediscover who I am, my identity? You allow an alien culture to come and subsume you. Talking about nonsense one. In the revolution IPOB is carrying out, everybody will be free. Let me give you an example. The Ngizim tribe of Yobe can decide to form an alliance with the Ngamo tribe, also of Bauchi and Yobe, to form a nation. That's their prerogative. That is their prerogative. If you don't know, that is what IPOB is bringing. That is what this Biafra agitation is all about. I want people. There is a group of people called the Ninzam people, or the Ninzo people of Kaduna and Plateau. Have you heard of them before? Have you? They are human beings. Every time is Fulani must rule. You're the son of Yoruba. After that, is Igbo man's turn. How about all these people? Are they not human beings? The Indo people of Taraba, are they not humans? When will they become a president? Those that say, oh, let's rotate it. I am giving you the ethnic nationalities in the north. There is the Ogori people of Kwara, the Inyandana people of Taraba. There is the power Afar people of Bauchi. When will somebody from the Nokere or Nakere, the Nakere or the Nunku tribe in Kaduna, when will a Nunku person be the president of Nigeria? That is in the year 200. That is if it is every 4 years. If it is every 4 years, it will take nearly 1,200 years for somebody from the Nakere ethnicity in Plateau to become the president of Nigeria. Let us do it every 4 years, every 8 years. You take nearly 2,000 years. Yes. Because what is here, the ethnicities that you have here, the different ethnicities that you have here in the north is nearly, that is the Sakuba people of Taraba, the Rumaya, the Shira. There is a, do you know in Kanu, he is not only Hausa people in Kanu. The Shirawa, or Shira people are in Kanu. They are an ethnicity. When will a Shira person become the president of Nigeria? When will a Shanshan person from Plateau become the president? Even in Sokoto, that you have the houses before the Fulanis came and kicked them out. There is another ethnicity there in Sokoto called the Shanga people or Shangawa ethnic group. When will a Shangawa person become the president of Nigeria? What I'm telling you right now is, if we are to rule one year each in the north, one year, it will take 305 years from now. 305, if they rule one year each for the presidency to rotate, it may not get to you or your people until your lineage is wiped out from the face of the earth. Do you see what the white man did to you? It was the white man that made it possible that the Yumu people, Yumu of Niger State, they don't exist. What exists in Nigeria, if you're lucky, is Arawa, Oduduwa, Biafra, or what we hear about every day because of our education. You know, you heard about Igbo, you hear about Ibibio, you know about Efik, you know about Ekoi, you know about Ejaram, you know about Oron, you know about Anang. Of course, all of the Anang, I don't know some, they're only Ibibio. You know about Ison, you know about Urobo, you know about Ishekiri, you know about Isoko, don't you? You know about Esha, you know about Bini Kingdom, Oigudomigo. Why have you asked yourself this question? If Biafra is a bad thing, how come I can sit down and name all these people off my head, but nobody have heard about the Yandana people of Taraba? Because they are under bondage. The Wukun people, the Jukun, under bondage. The Yegan people of Plateau, under bondage. The Zion people of Bauchi, not just Hausa, Zion, most of my Christians, they are under bondage, and who hears about them? These are the people we are fighting for. Every oppressed person, once you are oppressed, the Zulawa people of Bauchi, we are fighting for you. That is why we are different. That is why we are different. Do you now understand? Do you now understand that Elohim is in heaven? That we have no equal? None whatsoever. All these people, are they not? How can a white man come with one stroke of the pen, the history, the culture, the life of the Wukun people not known, the Wamba people, they are not known, the Waji people of Bauchi not known, the Waka people, W-A-K-A, of Taraba, nobody knows them anymore. They are gone. Because of what one white man did. I am now saying, do you see why? Wouldn't it be very nice for all of us to just go our separate ways? And then, if you want to be in a country together with everybody, you go. People are asking me, have you lobbied Islam people? Have you lobbied Ibibio people? Have you lobbied Efik people? Okay. So you know it is good to lobby people before you take them into a nation together. Why can't the same thing apply in Nigeria? Won't it be very nice? I want to know about the culture of the Zabara people of Niger State. I just want to know. I'm a student of contemporary history. I just want to know. I want to see their culture, their way of life, their dance, their music, their food. I want to know the yacht people of Taraba, the Yumu of Niger, the Yuam of, I want to know who these people are. Don't you, how can a white man come and with a stroke of the pen, Nigeria, all these his colorful, beautiful history are just wiped away? And you don't want them to be racist towards you? Do you see how I have proven to you that we are the cause of one problem? Not the man that killed George Floyd. We are the reason why George Floyd died. We don't even know these things. How many of you know this? That there is a tribe called Yumu, Y-U-M-U, in Niger State. They are not Hausa, they are not Fulani, they are not Bagi, but they are there. That was how God made Africa. We were living peacefully together side by side, no wars, nothing. Of course, the Fulanis came with their war. But nobody can accuse the Igbo people of waging any war anywhere. Or accuse the BBOs of going to war to take over anybody's land. Or level this accusation against Izon, Ijo, or Ishekiri. Why don't people understand? Why don't they understand that we want to free everybody from the bondage of the zoological republic called Nigeria? We don't have governments in Africa. If I were to be the head of state of a diverse, culturally rich and diverse, contraption like Nigeria, as soon as the white man leaves, I'll call everybody. I said to your tent, oh Israel, if you want us to come together, let us go and have a confab. That confab, the conclave will sit for 2 years to marshal out and hammer out every detail. Not you drink tea at Lancaster House. Yes. I was at Oxford, Cambridge. I went to Oxford and Cambridge. And yes. And you have tried to maintain that very thing the white man created. You have failed for nearly 60 years. You have failed. You're a failure. And you're continuing with it. Every 4 years you renew your idiocy. You call it election and voting. Every 4 years. Because you're a black man. Because your brain cells don't engage. Because you're not analytical. Because you're not critical. We don't have governments in Africa that reflect the essence of what Africa should be. Africa should not be like Europe. No! I said no! It shouldn't be like Europe. Let everybody go back to their ethnicity. Go back to where you come from. And start from there. Go back to your village. Go back to your homes. Not converging in Abuja and in Lagos like a bunch of idiots. Spain is a country governed by Spanish laws. Even Catalonia, they have their own laws. You have English people in England speaking English language and making laws in English. In France, the same. Everywhere it is the same. Why can't Africans reason? Why can't I make laws in Igbo land, in Igbo language? Why not? Why can't I make laws in Ishekiri language for Ishekiri people? What is wrong with black people from Africa? Why must you copy or maintain a racist creation? These artificial boundaries that you have. When somebody questions what a white man has done, you say he's a secession. You're seceding. You're insulting me. As somebody talking to me about it, that means you're insulting me. How can I secede from something I did not create? If I go into an agreement with you, then you can call it alternate secession. I don't know who you are. You came from somewhere looking very pale and white. You come and you say, your name is Nigeria. And idiots are jumping up and down. You don't know we are Biafrans, that we reason? You don't know we reason? We don't answer the name of a river. We don't. We name rivers. Rivers don't name us. Mad people everywhere. Some of you I want to tell you something this evening. I want to teach you something this evening that some of you don't understand. There is a place called Katsina Allah in Benue State. That Katsina Allah was created in 1914. It's an old place. Katsina Allah. Houses used to come there in Benue State. They used to trade. They used to come there. And they gave it their name. The name Katsina Allah is not original to that part of Benue State, if you don't know. But there's something very, very important. It is the location of the very ancient Nok culture. Some of you don't know this. Nok. N-O-K. Remember that I told you before that the Hausa people are very ancient people and that they have a civilization that one should be proud of. I want to tell you where they learned it from. There is an Iron Age population. Their name is Nok, N-O-K. There is something I'll tell about this Nok and Ham. These are all biblical names. But I'll come to that later. And how it affects Biafra, I will tell you. You know, I told you that Biafra is over 5,000 years old. I will tell you something about the Nok people and the Ham inhabitants. The Nok people came originally from Benue State. It was when the Hausas came that they copied their bronze works, how to smelt tools, and how to forge tools, and took it back to Zaria. That was how the Hausa people learned to build a musket, a gun. The Hausa people learned how to build a gun before any white man did anywhere in the whole world. You'll be shocked. They came to the land of Nok in present-day Benue State. They learned how to smelt, and they learned how to forge tools. And you know the funniest thing? They were doing this thing 500 to 1,000 years before Christ was born. 1,550 BC. I don't want them to close us down before they say we know too much. I don't want somebody to say this Biafra shouldn't come. These people, they know too much. When the white man was still groveling all over the place, before they came down from the mountains in Russia, the Caucasus, black people in Africa were building guns. But when God saw the wickedness in our heart, that we don't love each other, we are very evil and wicked, he took the grace, it's called grace, took it, that gift, took it away from us and gave it to Europeans. You don't know this before, do you? That before the white man started covering his nakedness, there is a piece of Biafra land where people were smelting iron. From where the Hausa people learned how to mold and build a gun. They gave that place their name, Katsina Allah, in remembrance of, a memory of Katsina, the proper Katsina itself, that had a Hausa king there. A Habe monarch was in Katsina. A Habe monarch was in Gobert. A Habe monarch was also in Kanu. The Hausas have a very proud tradition and rich cultural heritage which the Fulanis have destroyed. They don't know who they are. And that is what they wanted to do to us. To make you not to know who you are. That was what Britain, Satan eventually sent Britain to destroy us, destroy our brain. So you will know, once you don't know who you are, you can never discover yourself. I will help the Hausa people rediscover who they are. They have no idea. The Hausa people had the longest, most flourishing, most colorful, most technologically advanced civilization in the history of Africa. Hausa, yes, Hausa, and they are good people. If you see an evil or wicked Hausa man, I can assure you he has Fulani blood in him, or he has been corrupted by Fulani. An original Hausa man is an upright, honest human being before God and before man. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know if people can handle this program even more. I don't know. I doubt if they can.
Nnamdi Kanu, Odogwu Chiseke, Moses Chukwu nyelu ndị Igbo. Asị m gị gaba n'iru, n'onwere ife fa ga-eme, ọchọ nke a ga-enwe ilu ma chacha. Ọchọ nke a ga-enwe ilu, okwu nna m gwara m kwuo, ọ sị na ọchọ nke a ga-enwe ilu. Ịma na nwata chọba nke ya, mana nke nwa ka nwa na-achọ. Chukwu okike bụ ị na-asụ, Chukwu okike so ga-eje, na onwere ife ndị ya ga-eme. Ebe ka na-ebutere gị na Operation Python Dancing, na onwere ife ọzọ ma ga-eme. Maka na ọchọ nke adị enwe ilo, ụmụ Igbo ka eji ọnụ ka anyị ga-aghọta. Ndị ọcha achasị bute, ọcha ha achasị